But anyways, let's talk about this. So these are the patch notes for Vega that are coming. It's not final, but we're going to go through them. So Rainbow Suplex. Circumstances have been changed after landing the throw. I assume this is meaning in the corner you can't walk up throw to beat wake up buttons. So this is like a manual throw loop. So now it's not possible at all. Which I think is good. I think if they're all being taken out, you should do it for Vega too. I was never a big fan, but I liked doing it. It feels good, kind of, you know. They buffed his air throw, so another 10 damage, which is kind of cool. I don't think that was necessary, but I'm all up for taking more damage. Also because it's sort of hard to land sometimes, but if you get it, you're rewarded more now. This one is interesting, because this is on a lot of his moves, and I don't know what this means. And I guess we'll see when the notes actually drop, but it says adjusted the move's collision box during movement. So this is not the hurt box, this is something else. I think this means either where it causes proximity guard or where the hitbox moves. Like collision means like where you'll collide with the opponent or where you collide with something. So I'm assuming collision box means collision with the other opponent's collision box. So that means the way it interacts with the opponent and collides. So I assume it's better. Like it's now how they want it to work. Maybe there's situations where it wouldn't hit on certain frames or something because of the way the collision box moved. So we're gonna see. The stand line push with claw. Without claw got a bit more, so it also had that change, but also had pushback on hit increased and pushback on block increased. So they're making, I think they're making really plus normals on block that are really good for comboing and frame trapping, like to have more pushback. So this is kind of universal because Rashid has this. Other characters like Cammy has their lights with more pushback. Ryu has more pushback. I think which is good. So then it causes less frame traps and less auto-piloting setups, basically, on pressure. I mean, stand light punch wasn't that good because you can just crouch it, but there were situations where you could force a stand and then force a frame trap, and it makes sense. It's not that big of a nerf, not at all. What's up, Emperor Dad? Just going through his changes. Stand medium punch without claw. So adjusted the move's collision box again. So I guess we'll see what that means, but hopefully it means I can hit sooner or hit properly with it. Stand heavy punch with claw also. So maybe this is them buffing the range of stand heavy punch with claw. Maybe. We'll have to see. This is all up in the air. Same without claw. So this is interesting. So stand heavy kick. Hurt box has been changed. Adjusted the move's collision box. Okay. So hurt box. So can it only be hit low earlier? Like if I whiff it, is it harder to hit low, or has it been increased or decreased? We don't know. And this part weirds me out. So can hit opponents now behind Vega? So is this hitbox going to be some big box like right in front of him and behind him when he does this? I'm so curious. Yeah, during the startup. That's what I'm thinking too, but it means collision. So does that mean like the hitbox will be moving differently? I guess we'll see. But yeah, if this makes stand heavy kick a better normal to use, then I'm all for it. Crouching light punch without claw. Hurtbox has been changed. I don't know how so. Because if you look, okay, let's go look at Vega's hitboxes. They're pretty jank, to be honest. Some of them are kind of a stretch compared to other characters. So if you look at his crouching light punch, right, with it's without claw, right? Yeah. So I think the reason why they're adjusting it is because it beats Cammy's dive kick at pretty much any range where you're going to be hitting with this. Because you can see the hurt box is all the way down here, right? And if you look at claw, why claw, crouch, light punch, claw doesn't work? Because the hitbox is like right underneath it. So a dive kick that hits deep, that connects to this part of the area, it'll beat the jab. But because this one is so high up, and the hurt box is all the way down, like there's a big chunk in between, right? That's why it beats some jump-ins. So he does sort of have a crouch jab anti-air, sort of. It's not as good as others because it's not the way it's angled is not in a great position like Bison's, for example, but it's still very good. So what they're probably doing is they're making it bigger so it lines up more with something like this, which I think is fair. The less anti-air jabs, the better. Okay, Crush Medium Punch. Hurtbox has been changed with Claw. So Hurtbox probably made much smaller. Probably. I'm hoping. Because look at the hitbox, right? There's still a chunk of Claw left. I wish it was like this. Like a bit over the rest of the Claw. That's the only thing I want, really. But if Hurtbox is reduced, then that's good buff for Vega. Crushing Heavy Punch with Claw. Hurtbox has been changed. Again. So, with Claw, right? Yeah. So this one is pretty big Hurtbox, I'd say. It's very easy to whiff punish this if I whiff it in your face. Some people are scared when I hit this, or when I throw this out. But if you know, the hitbox is really small. It's very tiny. Right? Like, it's crazy. Yeah, like stand jab, Geef makes sense. Yeah, I agree. But yeah, and then not only that, it also has 3 active frames now instead of 2. So that's very good. It's very good. And can now hit opponents behind Vega. I don't get how it's going to work. Because the hitbox is all here. Right? So they'd have to make it like stretch behind here, I'm guessing. Like right behind his head. So that, if anything, it'll make it a better anti-air. It'll also make it better at dealing with cross-ups if you don't have time to do if you don't have time to do heavy spin edge. It'll just make this better. Crouch Fierce is already good. Just the Hurtbox is a bit weak because it beats some jump-ins. And I'm surprised they haven't touched that, but it works pretty well. It's probably his most consistent anti-air next to stand roundhouse if you time it. But this is like the fastest one he can do. Yeah, 3 active frames is huge. That means it's easier to meaty with too, right? And it's already a good meaty to begin with, but if they buff the hitbox and change the Hurtbox, like, it's going to be really good. Yeah, I don't understand how they're going to do that. This is kind of a universal change because a lot of anti-airs are being able to hit behind. Like Laura's stand medium punch, the elbow raise, and then same with the Balrog stand heavy medium punch as well. Sup, nerd? How's it going, man? Yeah, right? It's going to be so good. Because the thing is, it's already +5 on block. Yeah, it's going to be good. I like it a lot, man. It looks small, but I think it's a big buff. Okay, Crouch Heavy Punch with Claw. Okay, never mind. They are changing this. So Hurtbox and Hitbox have been changed. Because if you look at the Hitbox, right, it looks really tiny. So probably what they're doing is they're making it bigger and reducing this. Probably reducing the top part. So you see how in Claw, because usually a good anti-air is when the hitbox is above the Hurtbox like this, right? This is a good anti-air. The problem is that the hitbox is not big enough for it to be a consistent anti-air because it's just the little box not up to the hand, right? But this one is wider but smaller, right? So you have to hit it a bit late. So if they reduce the Hurtbox and make it a bigger hitbox, then this will be the best anti-air for him for sure. And can now hit opponents behind Vega as well. Man. So if Vega gets better anti-airs, if it's an increase and reduction on hitbox and Hurtbox, like, it's going to be much better. Much better. Because if they buff anti-airs, Vega's going to be a much better character and easier to, keep people out of the air and then make them deal with him on the ground, which is what Vega wants, right? That's why I'm saying Vega's going to be buff in Arcade Edition. You focus on if you nerf mix-ups and you buff defense and you buff anti-airs, then Vega is going to be much, much better. He's going to be probably one of the best characters. I'd say top 8 from what this looks like so far. If everything's buffed in terms of Hurtboxes and hitboxes, I'm telling you right now, top 10 character. Especially because the top tier are getting nerfed. So they're basically taking the tiers and just squishing it so it's even closer. you know? And some might overlap each other, some might beat others now when they didn't before. So we're going to see. Yeah, there's probably going to be a ton of setups. I know Nerd is going to go crazy for this stuff. Okay, and then now the jump attacks. So hurtbox has been changed. Probably to beat anti-air jabs, I'm guessing. And then jumping heavy kick. So hurtbox has been changed. Hitbox has been changed. So hitbox being changed, I think this could go both ways. Because the thing is, it's a really good jump in. Like, look at this. This is pretty damn good. They might make it better. They might make it actually... Like, I don't know why it looks like this to begin with. Like, look at this, guys. Look at this. His foot is here. But his hitbox is, like, where the knee is? That doesn't make sense. Why isn't it all around his foot? Why not make, like, another box? Like they did with medium punch, for example. Like, look. Box, box. Why not do the same thing? Right? It just makes so much sense. And they might make the hurtbox higher or shorter. We'll see. But, like, you can see how stand heavy punch claw is really good. Like, look how deep that goes. Right? Yeah, light kick is such a good jump in. That's why it hits so easily behind people. That's why when you jump on someone and you're pretty far away, right? But they stick out a button and you still clip them in the air when it looks like you're not even touching them. That's why this hits so often. It's really good. It's really good. Okay, Buster Claw. Adjusted the collision box. So that makes sense because it's a moving, like a forward moving normal, right? Okay, Matador Flash. So this is the target combo and claw where you do stand heavy punch, Matador Flash. This move till now has been useless. It honestly has been useless. There's no point in using this move right now. Okay? It's minus 13, something like that on block. It's not cancelable. It only goes to V-scale on hit. And you can't stance change it. But now, the second hit, so the slash down, is cancelable. Okay? So what that means, I don't know. But according to Arliath and other people at PSX, this is only cancelable on hit, not on block. So if you block this, or if the opponent blocks this, you can't stance switch on block. You can only do it on hit. Which I think is fair, because you could kind of, I think if it's minus 13 and you stance change, it's not going to be as punishable. Right? So it might be a bit cheap. Okay? Or you can like do this, and then you cancel the frames to wall dive away, for example. That would be kind of dirty. But the thing is, apparently, when the second hit is cancelable, you can apparently do anything afterwards. I think I saw a video of them doing a normal afterwards, because it launches, right? So you can probably hit them with a normal, but you can definitely do something like EX wall dive to hit them, which is good. Second note, the third hit is now cancelable. So that's really, really good because, and I'll get into this as well for Matador Blitz, the clawless target combo, but you can cancel V-trigger afterward or critical art. This is huge. This is huge. You know why? Because there are so many times where a hit, if you do like, if you're trying to build V-meter, you tend to go for stand heavy punch, claw switch, into medium kick or medium punch, heavy kick target combo in clawless, right? And then you end on V skill. The thing is though, if you have V trigger or super, you can't do anything afterwards, right? Like let's say you build V trigger on that one hit. You can't do anything. But the thing is, now you can, because right now currently, if you hit a V skill raw, you can cancel into V trigger and then you can do critical art, which is pretty good. But the strong point is using it in combos. So now you can do that. Not only that, they also buffed V gauge gain on the third hit. So if you're doing it in target combos, you're building more meter than when you're building it off a stray hit. So that's very, very good. They did this for other stuff too that are V skills, which I think makes sense. It will encourage more V skill usage. Because I already thought the meter gain was very low for most characters, so except for like Nikali or something like that. But some I thought really needed it. This is good. Yeah. Okay, and then some Matador Blitz. Same idea, which is amazing. And the gauge for V skill has been buffed. Very nice stuff. Okay, Matador Turn V skill. can now be cancelled into critical art. So that's the raw V-skill attack. So when you land the stray hit over a fireball, you can buffer into critical art, which is very good. Yeah, Nikali's V-skill has been nerfed for how much meter it gains, which I think is good. They didn't buff the invincibility, so I think it still sucks. Well, no, it doesn't suck. It's just very hard to use. But when you get it, it's going to be good. This is like a justified nerf that I think I don't even mind taking. So what it is on the V-trigger standing and the V-trigger crouching, the damage has been decreased from 170 to 100. And that looks bad, okay? It looks terrible. But the opponent's juggle state after this hit has been changed. So that means, and I've seen footage, you can actually do EX wall dive afterward to follow up. I don't know if you can do more, but they also say the restriction of air combos following this move have been relaxed. So that probably means, because they said the same thing with this when they changed Barcelona wall dive claw attack. They said the juggles have been relaxed. So that means you can juggle with any normal. So I wouldn't be surprised if you can do the any normal as well after that and juggle. Like you could do like a light kick roll, you could do like stand fierce, stand switch, you could do whatever, which I think would be much better. I'd rather take that than have the damage stay the same. Right? It's a pretty big drop in damage. I'd rather they decreased it by like, you know, like 20, 40 points, maybe. 70 is huge. Maybe because they think it'll be too good. Maybe. Which, if it is, then I don't care. Because I'm going to get more damage afterwards anyway, right? So same with the crouching one, because this is huge. You know why? Because this is most useful against Akuma. Because when Akuma has V-trigger, and you do as well, they're going to want to throw air fireball. And this move destroys air fireball, 100%. And the problem is you don't get a follow-up after. You can't even do super. But now that you can do anything afterwards, you can just kill Akuma terribly, which is good. Now, the difference, though, with the airborne one, like when you jump as a anti-fireball tool, the damage has been increased by 10 points. So now it's 180. And the stun has been increased to 200 from 150. So that's 50 points more of stun. That's crazy. That's crazy good. And then the meter gain from this move has also been increased. So the meter gain as well for all three of them, which is good. Yeah, the air feed trigger is the one that when you jump up, throw the rows downward diagonally. Right? So that one you won't be able to follow up. But they buff the damage to compensate and the stun. Right? Which I'm fine with. And this one is curious too. Heavy Punch, Aurora Spin Edge. So the anti-air one, right? And Claw. So it's been changed. So the hitbox only. So does that mean it's bigger? If it's bigger, that means it's good. Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe they forgot to mention this part for this one as well. Okay, okay. I guess we'll see, because this is leaked and not final. Unless they changed it. I don't know. But anyway, and then so this one is curious. So Grand Inazuna drop and EX Grand Zuna drop. 10 frames of recovery have been added when whiffed. So basically your command grab is now more risky to throw out. If you guess wrong, you're definitely going to get punished hard. But the thing is, because of this next nerf, it's not that big of a deal because there's less situations where it's an obvious command throw, right? So Light Crimson Terror, the light kick roll, pushback on hit on the second hit has been increased. So this has changed from before, because before they decreased the pushback. So now this means, and I've seen it based on footage, that you won't be able to follow up with stand short to continue into a light kick roll loop. Okay? I don't think you can even reach with a medium punch. I don't think. But you definitely can't reach with command grab. Hopefully, it's pushed back to the same distance as Season 1, where you could at least do like a medium hit to like force them to block. or catch them walking back or something like that. We'll see. We'll have to see. I haven't seen enough footage about it. I just know you can't follow up with the loop again, or you can't do command grab or throw. And then this one makes me a bit nervous, just a little bit. So the timing of the move startup has been changed for EX Barcelona, okay? And this is Barcelona attacks. So this is not, okay, this could be the wall dive part, or this could be the actual attacking part, like when you press punch. This is what it could be talking about. If it's talking about the actual startup of it, like starting to go off up to the wall, then it's a much bigger deal. Because if it's slower, I really don't like that. So unless this is faster or slower, it's probably, if they're talking about the attack, it's probably slower. Because that means it might not give you, you might have to do a different situation for a good meaty. Because there's one meaty where it's a perfect setup. So you do heavy kick roll, and if they quick rise or back roll, and you do EX wall dive immediately off the wall and press punch, you'll catch them on their wake up and hit them with this. So if they change the timing and made it slower, that probably won't work as well anymore. Or at least you could see what side. So we'll see. And Vega's movement during the move has changed. So does that mean I get more movement? Does it mean I get less? We'll have to see. And then finally, the startup of the final stage of his attack has been changed. So I think it's both then. So I think it's the actual timing when you do the move. It might be, excuse me, slower or faster. And then the startup of the final attack might be slower or faster. Yeah, you might have to learn how to play after this. Overall, I think these changes mean... So bear in mind that, like, if these changes, like, to his hurtboxes and hitboxes don't affect him, okay? Let's say they don't affect him. It's just neutral, okay? I think Vega got buffed. Pretty good. Okay? He definitely got buffed. If these are nerfs, I think he's about equal, and he's going to play a bit differently, right? You're gonna have to focus on different things. And if they're buffs, like increases to hitboxes and decreases to hurtboxes, then damn, Vega's gonna be top tier. Top 10 or top tier. Honestly. Like, look at these changes. Like, as a whole, you can't say Vega got nerfed to hell. You can't. Not only that, because you don't know a lot of these changes, because it just has changed. But like I said, we'll see. We'll see. I really want these hurtboxes changed and these hitboxes improved. Like, some of them, like, look at medium kick. Medium kick is so good. This is why it beats so many lows. But again, look at where the foot is and look at where the knee is. I don't get it. Why is it like that? It's crazy. Even this, why doesn't it extend to the foot? Why does it not extend to the rest of the claw? Why does it not extend to the rest of the fingers? You know? Why? Why not just a little bit more? A little bit more. This one is the craziest to me, because there's a lot of range missing. Right? Even this one too.